Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope you all are doing well tonight. I am once again simulcasting on Rumble and Utizzle, and I want to thank everybody who's joining me tonight and everybody who watches the live stream after the broadcast. Do me a favor and remember to give me a thumbs up. Do that before you forget, like I do sometimes, and I got to go back and give a thumbs up. So go ahead and podge it, Podge, podge that like button for me. But anyway, it's never a dull moment. What's going on in this historic times, biblical times, that I don't think the world has seen this type of a tectonic shift in an age. Who used that? Who used that term? That was Graybeard. Graybeard in one of the Lord of the Rings trilogies. But anyway, folks, what's this about J.B. Pritzker's brother? J.B. Pritzker's brother. What was he doing with Virginia Giuffre? Oh, my God. What happened to Virginia Giuffre? Oh, my God. And what happened to that gubernatorial candidate's family? I don't, what do I do? What do I do when people are coming in? I play videos, and that's what I'm going to do today. So let me see what I want to play to keep everybody engaged. While they come in to join the chats, get yourself a cup of coffee, a cold bruja, or maybe a glass of wine, or bourbon. Bourbon and Coke. Moonshine. How about some moonshine? All right. I'll play some videos, and then we'll be like butter and get on a roll.
Stronger and better than ever before. They're mostly gone. They're all coming back. This is why people in countries want to kill me. They're not happy with me. It's a risky business. This is why they want to kill me. They only kill consequential presidents, remember that. But this is why, if you're one of the countries that's affected, you're not happy with what I'm saying. When they used to say they like Barack Hussein Obama, of course they do, because he did nothing to help us. When they like Biden, who doesn't know he's alive, of course they like him, because he does nothing to bring your businesses back. He lets the world rob our country, the robber barons. He lets them rob and steal from our country, and most importantly, he lets them take our... I just haven't gotten over something the Justice Department did yesterday, where Virginia cleaned up its voter rolls and got rid of thousands and thousands of bad votes, and the Justice Department sued them that they should be allowed to put those bad votes and illegal votes back in and let the people vote. So I haven't gotten over that. A lot of people have seen that. They can't even believe it.
A tyrant. We used to compare the strength of our democracy to communist dictators. That's what we're dealing with right now in Donald Trump. And these titans of industry are not speaking up.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy.
Storm zone. Yes, sir. I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
And he's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate investigate every radical DA and HE in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me tonight. I do appreciate it. Who else come in to see me here this evening? I will leave my judge up on the screen. We got this battle with the judiciary. Although I disagree with the demographic they're putting up there, we do have liberal judges that look like that. Bunch of characters from the 70s. Liberals. Hi, Gary. How you doing? Gary's the first one I laid eyes on. Oh, you don't got to apologize for nothing. It's quite a feat for me. You didn't get grounded. Let's see. Well, we hope you're doing well. We were looking for you to come back. Yeah, we had a troublemaker, Gary. He was a weird one. I'll talk about that in just a minute. Everything's all right. We hope you're all right, buddy. Glad to have you back. Are you working on that road in Alaska? Those questions I had. What's the story on that road? And did you go through anything with that typhoon? That I wasn't even aware it was. Trump sent $25 million to Alaska. But anyway, hi Sherry, how you doing, Sissy? Bubba, nice to see you, Bubba, as always. Wanda's here. Wanda been around a long time too. Damon, Rain, Todd's here. Well, my fingers can't go as fast as this chat goes sometimes. Haha. Let's see, Robin's here. Linda Marie, Elva, Randy. Linda Marie, Elva, Randy, Sissy. All right. Marley, she brought 2 cups of coffee. Hey, y'all coming in now, make sure you hit the like button. That helps me out, even though they don't show me around very much. Hi, Flannel Cheese. Wayne, nice to see you. I know I got a thumbs up now. Wayne's here. Darla's here. All my thumbs uppers. Gary will give me a thumbs up. KNS Cleanup will give me a thumbs up. Rubber Toe will give me a thumbs up. Everybody. Ann's here. Seamus. Nice to meet you, Seamus. Don't forget to podge that like button. Podge it. Podge. I learned that when I learned how to cipher. Ha ha ha. Cole, hello, nice to see you. Stanton's here. All right. Okay. You know, I got a lot of things in my title, and there's only so much room, but there's so much more to talk about. And remember when I put up something last week about submarines and Gerald R. Ford, the aircraft carrier? Remember that? And I said, you know, there's something going on. We're going to be hearing something about this. And sure enough, remember I put this picture up of a submarine? And I said, this isn't because it's October, is it? So that's a Ruski sub. This is Gerald R. Ford. I always wondered about Gerald R. Ford because it was made with, chit chat is it was made with inferior steel from where? China. So I don't know. We'll see what's going on with that. But there is a submarine hunt going on. And I wanted to go over the what some of the reporting of that on that was. Let me see if this is it. Let's see. Oh, this is probably out of order. Let me find out what order this is in, and we'll go over it. This is what I was going to talk about earlier in the last week. I mean, U.S. Gerald R. Ford exposed Russian Yasin-class nuke submarine sparks largest NATO hunt since Cold War, reports. In the last week of August, NATO forces in Norway went into a huddle as the U.S. Navy's biggest aircraft carrier was exposed and vulnerable. Within hours, the U.S. Navy, the Royal Air Force, and the Royal Norwegian Air Force launched one of the largest submarine hunts off the coast of Norway, apparently the most extensive hunt since the end of the Cold War. Their target, according to the Barents Observer, was one of the 3 Russian Yasin-class nuclear-powered submarines, one of Russia's most advanced submarines, which was operating dangerously close to the U.S. Navy's largest aircraft carrier, the 100,000-ton nuclear-powered USS Gerald R. Ford. Oh, my word. Let's see if this is in the right order. Oh, that might be another page. Wait a second. Let me try to get it in the right order. So now we got the Gerald R. Ford is making headlines beyond this. I just want to make sure I got the right. According to multiple media reports, to hunt down the Russian submarine, the RAF launched at least 8 P-8A Poseidon flights from Lossiemouth Air Base in Scotland. The RNAF carried out sorties from its Evans Air Base near Narvik within the Arctic Circle. And the U.S. Navy also launched patrols from Iceland, while 2 additional anti-submarine warfare P-8 aircraft were redeployed from Sicily, Italy. Despite this extensive mobilization of resources, NATO forces were unable to locate the Russian submarine, according to the national interest. However, notwithstanding the abject failure of NATO forces in locating, let me see, I got to make sure I get the right page. Notwithstanding the abject failure in locating the submarine, what is even more concerning is the fact the submarine was able to operate so close to the U.S. Navy aircraft carrier. Apparently, the submarine was so close that it could have targeted one of the U.S. Navy's most expensive and advanced aircraft carriers with its long-range precision weapons and overwhelmed the carrier's defenses. The carrier was so vulnerable that it was even within striking range of the submarine's torpedoes. The operation of Russian submarines so close to the U.S. Let's see if this is the right one. Let me see. Whoa, wait a second. Navy's most advanced aircraft carrier sends multiple strategic messages. The first, that Russia is not deterred by the presence of the U.S. Navy's most advanced aircraft carrier near the Russian border. Meanwhile, the Nurpicha Russian naval base in the Litsa Fjord, where all three Russian Yasen-class and Yasen-M submarines are usually docked, is just 60 kilometers away from Russia's border with Norway. In fact, as shown by satellite imagery, all three Russian submarines were not present at the base during the last week of August when NATO forces launched a massive hunt for them. Secondly, and more worryingly, the whole episode shows that even the U.S. Navy's most advanced carriers are vulnerable to Russian submarines. Ain't that something? Let's see. U.S. I already read that. So anyway, that was going on since a week ago, and I had given a heads up about that. And now we're talking. Here's the Yasen class nuclear sub, and here is the USS Gerald R. Ford, the largest and most expensive aircraft carrier in our fleet. Now it's bubbling up again. Bubbling up once again, which we'll talk about. Just want to get this also is going on. Last week now, President of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, signed the Treaty of Strategic Partnership and Cooperation between Venezuela and Russia for 10 years. On national television, Maduro emphasized that the signing was timed to coincide with Vladimir Putin's birthday. My. Now, what's going on? We're hunting Russian submarines, and Donald J. Trump is also hinting at ground operations in Venezuela or wherever the cartels are located. So things are heating up. Things are heating up. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Miss Mendersu, how are you? Yeah, this is the closest we've gotten to the Red October scenario we've been waiting years for. Not that we want anything to happen, but that is just our comms, right, folks? That's been our communication on the board. On the board. Did everybody say we're crazy? We're looking after. Hebrew Hammer, how you doing? Pappy Two Bears, nice to see you. All right, let me see what I miss. What I miss in the chats? Hi, Mac. You're from Portland. Yeah, we heard that. Nice to meet you, Mac. We heard that Antifa skedaddled out of there. I put that in my title, too. Ha, ha, ha. They skedaddled. And they had a bunch of patriots show up there. Now, I don't recommend or condone fighting in the streets. But I got one clip where this feisty little woman, where is she? Went up there. They had some MAGA people go up and wave flags and say "Ice Ice Baby" and pretty much outnumbered that bunch up there. But keep an eye on her. Where's she at? See that guy's arm holding that phone up there on the left-hand side? Well, right behind that arm, there's a little ball of fire. She got mad and she came out swinging, but I thought they sped up the video, but apparently they didn't. Again, I don't recommend this, But yeah, she's feisty. She might be little, but she's feisty.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
She broke up the whole crowd, didn't she? But anyway, again, I don't recommend that. But anyway, here is Nick Shirley, which I can tell you with confidence now. I've got it figured out. I don't get confused anymore because he's a young man, he's got a boyish face, and I used to get him confused with a radical. I'll show you here in a minute. But anyway, here's Nick Shirley pointing out Antifa has been dismantled in Portland. So yeah, you'll see the extent of the stuff they've. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Lori. How you doing? It's not the size of the dog, but the size of the fight of the dog. Yeah, she was throwing some little haymakers there, wasn't she? But anyway, here, let's see what happened. Here's where Antifa skedaddle. You remember Trump using that term quite a bit.
Antifa in Portland has lost their battle. You have absolutely nobody outside the ICE building right now. Their encampment has been completely shut down. You do not see a single member of Antifa, as the police actually came in today and said they cannot no longer be here. It looks like a hoarder's house here, but you have quite literally everything from buckets full of medicine, toothpaste, floss. You have food right here. You have all sorts of medical gear as well. They had boxes full of masks, and they had a load supply of water. They had all of their supplies and party supplies in here, and they even had things such as fridges, and they even had a barbecue here as well. So this is the end of Antifa for right now. It's been completely dismantled. Here is the barbecue they had right here. Absolutely is gone. Antifa no longer here on the streets of Portland. It's like the patriots, the pro-Trump people came in here and outnumbered them for the first time in a long time. And this could be the downfall of Antifa here in Portland.
The downfall. I heard excuse me, I heard somebody in the background say, "Who wants a free grill?" That refrigerator looked brand new too, did it? Yeah, I'd be throwing that in the back of the truck. So that was a long walk. That shelter was just a bunch of tents strewn all together. Hi, baby nurse, how you doing? That's right, Gary. The funds are gone. Somebody was paying for it. Hi, Bill. Somebody was paying for it, and they're tracking it down. I'll tell you my humble opinion. Well, it's not so humble. Some of those officials were told, you're going to keep giving these creeps breaks like this, we'll charge you with aiding and abetting a terrorist organization, okay? Because that's what they've been called. That's what they've been designated by the President of the United States, Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the land, okay? So, You just keep covering for them. Watch what happens. And hey, they ran them off. Nobody cares unless their ox is getting gored, right? So let me see if this is another Antifa. Yeah, this is the outside of the building. Remember, you've seen this building. This is where I first saw that one woman who was running around in a frog outfit. I thought was funny, and then like for weeks, the only one doing it. And then just before the No Kings March, they all go out and get inflatable outfits and try to look like big stuffed animals and stuff. But anyway, this place was a hellhole every day for months and months and months. Now look at it today. left behind all their crap. All their crap. I would be getting me that's a nice chest freezer, man. But they're cheap now. Probably $149.99, something like that. But people are standing up, and it's hard to resist because there were so much more of us, and they're so ridiculous looking. Hi, Larry. Nice to see you. I'm gonna get rid of my judge. We looked at him enough. I want to put something else up there. Speaking of all these goofy, dopey, organized protests they got. Where did that one go I wanted to put up? I had it sized out and everything. Oh, don't tell me I took it out of the studio. Here we go. There we go. Pat, I'd like to solve the puzzle. Still your presidente. Got it? Get it? Got it? Good. Goodbye, Judge. I'll get him out of the studio. But anyway, KNS, clean up. They had their garbage. Yeah, of course they leave their garbage out behind. That's all they bring with them is garbage. Nothing real. Here's a guy that he's taking a chance, really. What did he put a sign in his yard? Where'd he go? He put a sign in his yard. Hey, ICE, we need you here. pointing to some people that moved in next door to him. And it's got these, I guess they didn't have enough people to make it seem like a huge bunch protesting. That's the guy standing there with the tan shirt on. And a woman fussing at him. She made her homemade yellow sign there. But anyway, here they are fussing at him. ICE sign in man's yard sparks controversy among neighbors.
Tempers flared in a metro neighborhood. It's all over a sign referencing ICE, Immigration and Custom Enforcement, and pointing to a Hispanic family's home. News 4's Tanner De Leon was there as both sides came face to face.
I asked y'all to turn the music down.
Shouts of anger and frustration aimed at the person who put up this sign in his yard near Spencer Elementary School.
This is not okay, and I'm a mother here. My children go to this school, and I will not tolerate this.
She is sticking up for the family who lives in the home the sign points to. They tell News 4 they've had issues with the man since moving in a couple years ago.
They don't like us. They complain about everything. My kids played in the yard over there in the grass, and they come to the fence and they start telling them, hey, you need to go to your house. Hey, you need to stop playing.
Families picking up their kids from Spencer Elementary say this does not surprise them.
I was a kid here in the school over 20 years ago, and it was like the same kind of way. He lives next to the school, but like even like balls over the fence, like common things. Still an issue, I guess.
At one point, police showed up. That's when the homeowner came outside. Ordonez says it is one of the few times he has had an opportunity to try and speak with the man.
They don't like Hispanic people, or they don't like nobody yet. I don't know what this problem is. We never mess with him at all.
We out here.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Officers say because neither side is breaking any law, they can't do anything. We reached out to OKCPS as well, with it being so close to the elementary school. They say there is nothing they can do about it because the sign is not on their property, adding, quote, the district is committed to all students, and all students will be educated equally. Families hoping for a change.
I wish we would quit spreading the hate. You know, I know this community has grown, and everybody that's coming to this community has made an impact and makes a difference for what they do here.
In Spencer, Tanner De Leon.
Ain't nothing wrong with what he's doing. Even if it's free speech, but the bottom line is, where's that one that ICE put out? It's the law. You're supposed to report people that don't belong in the country. Right here. Put that on your meta right here. Report all illegal aliens. It's the law. If you would like to report illegal aliens, please call Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. They will need to know names, locations, either workplace or residence, and any other specific information you can provide. So there you go, 1888-DHS2-ICE. Yeah. He's not doing anything wrong at all. I'd like to go up and shake his hand, but, they're out there yelling in the front yard. Peaceful protest doesn't include harassment. Okay, peaceful protest doesn't include stalking. How about that? What in the heck do I got going on in my studio now? There we go. So anyway, are we going to see massive voter fraud in Virginia? Are we going to see it in New Jersey? What's going on with the votes in New Jersey? What's going on? Well, we know what's going on with Canada. On top of everything else that we're talking about, Trump is dropping the hammer on Canada because they are messing with our icon, our hero, Ronald Wilson Reagan, right? Here is what Trump put out. The Ronald Reagan Foundation has just announced that Canada has fraudulently used an advertisement. Some people, I didn't see it, which is fake, featuring Ronald Reagan speaking negatively about tariffs. The ad was for $75,000. That was that Ford guy. Roland's not in. He's our Canada contact. Got anybody from Canada? They only did this to interfere with the decision in the U.S. Supreme Court and other courts. I heard the attorney Andrew Branca today talking about Trump's filing with the Supreme Court and read the whole filing. I think his name's Succulo. And we're going to be getting ruling on that soon. The tariffs are very important to the national security and economy of the USA. Based on their egregious behavior, all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President DJT. Yeah, don't be running no boats in the Gulf of America either. Not that Canada would ever do that. He followed it up again. Here's another one. Canada cheated and got caught. They fraudulently took a big buy ad saying that Ronald Reagan did not like tariffs when he actually loved tariffs for our country and its national security. Canada is trying to illegally influence the United States Supreme Court in one of the most important rulings in the history of our country. Let me guess which three are going to try to say the President of the United States can't be in charge of tariffs. Let me guess which three. Can you all guess which three? Canada has long cheated on tariffs, charging our farmers as much as 400%. Now they and other countries can't take advantage of the U.S. any longer. Thank you to the Ronald Reagan Foundation for exposing this fraud. Make America great again. You know where the Ronald Reagan Foundation is located. I believe they are headquartered in the Presidential Library for Ronald Wilson Reagan, the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute. Learned that the government of Ontario, Canada, created an ad campaign using selective audio and video of President Ronald Reagan delivering his radio address to the nation on free and fair trade. They had the dates and everything, dated April 25th, 1987. The ad misrepresents the presidential radio address, and the government of Ontario did not seek or receive permission to use and edit the remarks. The Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute is reviewing its legal options in this matter. We encourage you to watch President Reagan's unedited video on our YouTube channel. And also the Nixon Foundation. I have them popping up on my YouTube feed. So anyway, speaking of libraries, I didn't copy this video. It's 4 minutes long, but here's the Obama library. Here's how the Obama library is coming along. What does that building look like? It looks like Hebrew. You're out there. What's the name of that? Where everybody runs around, throws rocks at Satan, and they're in Mecca. What do they call that building? I forget. But look at that awful-looking mess. Eyesore. Chicago residents slam Obama's useless big rock. I had some other pictures. It looks like something out of where is it? Where the orcs lived and where the Mount Doom was, or whatever they called it. Where they had to throw the ring. Mordor. It looks like something out of Mordor if it was a nighttime, and you had a couple of orcs running around there. Tower of Babel, that's right. Yeah. And there's a $40 million big question mark about criminality and fraud, kickbacks. And he's been out of office for how damn long? And that's as far as they got, and that's what that damn thing looks like. It's awful. It's awful. But anyway, I showed Harry Sisson, and I was going to say I don't get him confused anymore with this character here. Let me find him. What's this other guy's name? Harry Sisson and boy I just showed. Let's see. This is Harry Sisson. He's the one that got poop dropped on his head in a parody video. Everybody knew it was a parody video. Well, what's he doing? Here, if you want to watch it, which I did, I'll watch it later. I got it on my list of things to watch. But he's crying the blues. I had a copy of the video for y'all to watch on Liberal Highbind. But anyway, here's the one thing about it. This is the one who I had in my thumbnail getting poop dropped on his head. Breaking. Democrat influencer Harry Sisson is now having his dad's law firm send cease and desist letters to conservatives who make fun of him. In parody, you can get away with a lot. I said he reminded me of one kid who used to tease another kid years ago in a residential school. He's a Harry the fairy. But that just me recalling a memory. Nothing to do with you, Harry, so don't have your father come after me. But anyway, he's all upset and doing a little media crying tour. I decided to go ahead and where is that video of that little creep? Oh, am I allowed to call him a creep? I think he's a creep. Yeah, here it is. Breakdown. If you want to watch Liberal Hive Mind, Harry Sisson is breaking down psychologically. Just because Trump did that meme of him. And he was, 3 seconds out of the whole meme? And he's acting like his world is collapsing around him. How much do you get paid, Harry? Do you get $8,000 a month to be an influencer? Now, how many of you all remember this? How many of you all? June Lockhart, beloved mother figure from Lassie and Lost in Space, dies at the age of 100 years old. How many of you all remember that? Dr. Smith, the robot, Billy Mummy. Anyway, here's a more recent picture of her. Another television icon, gone. But hey, she lived to be 100 years old. remembering June Lockhart. She, to be 100 years old, she held up pretty good. But anyway, a fond farewell to June Lockhart. She's gone on to her great reward. Ha ha ha, Gabies. Danger, Will Robinson. That's right, Rain. That's when they first started selling toys. If they'd been smart, they would have really cashed in on that robot. As far as they had a limited number amount, but that's when they started. I tell you, Dan Scavino was putting up some stuff too. I can't play it, but he put out a almost 5-minute long track of Phil Collins singing the song. I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Hold on. Right, folks? Did you all see that? Dan Scavino post that? Does that mean something's coming up? It was 2 days ago. I uploaded it and was going to play it, but I knew I would get banged. It's totally footage of his concert. No inserts, but he sings the whole song out and plays the drum. And really, when you see him post that and you listen to the song, it sends chills up your back with what we're dealing with, what we're looking at. This is something else Dan Scavino posted. Loyalty is everything. There he is, Dan Scavino standing next to our president, Donald J. Trump. I was there and saw what you did. Saw it with my own 2 eyes. I was going to sit there and take some pictures of certain people. And when they say, I was there and saw what you did, you put up faces like Obama and people like that. But I don't think I'll get a copyright for this. Here you go, unclassified. We got a 19th. How many do we get? Ninth boat. Drug running boat.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. We dropped a bomb right on their heads, the best you've ever seen. The fake news and the left are melting down and throwing fits, 'cause we took these bad hombres out and blew them all to bits. The FAFO president has a message for the cartels. If you bring drugs into our country, we'll bomb you straight to hell. It's called F around and find out. And these bad hombres effed around, and now they found out. And now they're fish food. Trende Aragua is Trende annihilated. Thank you for your attention to.
Thank you for your attention to this matter. They're always making fun of Donald Trump. Trump put this picture up right here. Thank you. Big progress for America being made. And I remember this footage when he was returning from Helsinki. They were playing this footage while John Brennan was calling Donald Trump a traitor because he stood at a podium next to Vladimir Putin. And Putin was talking about Hillary Clinton's campaign money. What was it, $300 million that escaped the country? I'll play that one day. But anyway, and people were making fun of Trump, saying, oh, look how terrible and old and tired he is. Even though he'd been up for almost damn 24 flipping hours. But, all right. Where is a clip I wanted to play? Right here. This was right after Maduro announced he was signing that deal with Putin.
Why not just ask for a declaration of war?
Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay? We're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah. That was after. And that leads me to one I was going to play. Well, I might save it till the end of tonight's program. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. Look at this jerk. I mean, this person with an opinion.
ICE raids have left our communities angry, terrified, and on edge. No one should have to live in fear of secret police tactics. That's why I wrote California's law banning ICE agents from wearing masks. No matter what happens in Washington, California will always stand for the rule of law. Our immigrant neighbors are under attack, and I will always stand up for them as your representative. Join me, and together we'll fight to stop these attacks in our community.
Well, we're going to stop these attacks on our tax base, our culture, our housing, our social services, our education by getting rid of bums like you that want to give everything away, you bum. Here's another clip of Trump. I'm not sure what this one. It's in the same setting, I think. Let me see. Yeah, it says drug boats. Let me see what he's saying.
It was pretty amazing. But we have the Gulf of America, and there are very few boats, very, very few boats. Not even fishing boats, to be honest. I don't want to do that to the fishing industry, but it's been so effective. And our sea drugs, as they call them, they use the term sea drugs, the drugs coming in by sea, are like 5% of what they were a year ago, less than 5%. So now they're coming in by land, and even the land is concerned because I told them that's going to be next. You know, the land is going to be next, and we may go to the Senate, we may go to the Congress and tell them about it, but I can't imagine they'd have any problem with it. I think, in fact, while we're here, I think it's a good idea, Pete. You go to Congress, you tell them about it. What are they going to do? Say, gee, we don't want to stop drugs pouring in. They're killing 300,000 people a year. I think that's the real number, 300,000 people a year. So between that and my discussion with President Xi, I think we have never made progress like we've made.
Yeah, he's saying it in so many words that we're going to be going in. Geronimo! Remember when I said that, folks? I was talking about Geronimo. That means time for action. You're committed when you say Geronimo. You're taking a big jump. How much you want to bet we hear that? How much you want to bet we hear that? But anyway. Oh, by the way, this is the person who was in the chats aggravating everybody. He does videos, and I'm not picking on him. And some of his video, most all of his videos, I think, I just scanned it real quickly, complaining about being what do they call it? Hidden from the chats. That's what they do now instead of blocking. So this is a person who was all of a sudden, he left a message on one of my videos calling me a coward and a bigot after my live stream the other night when he was getting upset and cursing in the chats. And I timed him out, and now he can't comment anymore. Just a little suggestion to you, if you're listening, you know who you are. don't curse at people and don't use foul language and insult people, and maybe you'll be able to chat. And maybe it's not YouTube doing that. It's that people don't want that stuff in their chats. Just a suggestion, and hope you look at what you put in people's comments and think twice before you call them son, boy, coward, bigot. When have I ever been bigoted? Just a little bit. But anyway, here's something else Dan Scavino put up. I guess he's got a lot of people calling him because he's now in charge, or he's been nominated. I guess he's serving as a interim or temporary, but he's going to be making the final decision on everybody who's going to work for the federal government. Dan Scavino. He put this up. So I don't know. Maybe he just thought it was cute. I was going to play this at the... Here's a Bernie Sanders Halloween meme. Get that for your meta to put it out for Halloween. I heard you're handing out free stuff. Yeah, I cuss every once in a while when I get myself riled up. I might say some words or something like that, but definitely not a habit, not something I do every day. And yes, I try to keep it a family channel, and especially personal insults. You know, why would you want to do that? What makes you think people will keep you around? I mean, for what? But anyway, let me go through some of this. We're going to trip across the current submarine issue, but let me go over some of the stuff from Ruski land. Get a load of this. Female spies are waging S3X warfare to steal Silicon Valley secrets. Hold on tight. It's about to explode. The Times reports that Russia and China have started a S3X war against the USA. According to the publication, Moscow and Beijing are massively sending beautiful girls to Silicon Valley for espionage purposes. U.S. counterintelligence fears for the country's technological security as the girls seduce, marry, and even have children with promising American technology scientists, through whom, allegedly, important secrets are then extracted. Yeah. Well, Swalwell fell for it. How many? And whoever was the chauffeur for Dianne Feinstein driving Miss Crazy, he was a Chinese spy. Who knows what's going on with those two? Little sake in the hot tub, Diane? The U.S. has imposed sanctions against President of Colombia, Gustavo Petro. The country's Ministry of Finance reported. Yeah, you're damn right we have. All this is part of the state fight against drug trafficking. Yeah, that's right. German Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul canceled his trip to China because no one wanted to meet with him. Oh, poor Germany. I mean, they're the red-headed stepchild over there in Europe. They always have been. Always have been. The publication notes that Friedrich Merz has been in power for 6 months, but has not yet made a visit to China. The cabinet had reserved days for his trip. Xi Jinping did not find time for a meeting. Now Wadephul has canceled the trip due to the inability to arrange meetings with the Chinese side. Oh my. Well, maybe it's got something to do with they're trying to kiss up to China. Where are all the solar panels made? China? Is that where all the solar panels are made? Well, what do they do in Bavaria? Let me show it to you. They're blowing up. Where did it go? They're blowing up their nuclear reactors because they want to go green. I got a video of it somewhere. I'll put it up. So they're trying to suck up China. And it's going to be, as usual, the expense of the German people. As usual. For their screwball governments. Here they are blowing up these reactors. Let me cut the volume off.
Ach so, es ist ja...
Ain't that something how they drop down in and on themselves, straight down? Kind of reminds you of something else, doesn't it? They just dropped straight down, didn't they? But anyway, UK Secretary of Defense John Healey addressed Putin, saying the following: "We are hunting your submarines." United Kingdom Secretary of Defense. He reported a 30% increase in the number of Russian vessels near UK waters. Healey, accompanied by the German defense minister, said, "Russia is testing us, but we are watching you." That's an extension of what we just looked at with the Gerald R. Ford. We shall see. What's going on here now? Wait a minute. Un théorie compliste selon laquelle la première dame sera, I can't read that, Brigitte Macron, the wife of President of France Emmanuel Macron, is registered as a man in the tax registry. We've been talking about this for years. Put high school photos up. This was reported by BFM TV channel, citing a representative of the First Lady of France, Tristan Brome. According to her, Brigitte recently discovered that on the French tax website, her gender is listed as male, and the name is recorded as Jean-Michel. The First Lady has already filed a complaint. Now, isn't that funny? Isn't that strange? How'd that happen? It should be noted that since 2017, that's right, 2017, a conspiracy theory has been actively discussed that Macron's wife is actually a man who underwent gender transition. These rumors have been repeatedly denied by Brigitte and Emmanuel Macron. But remember the picture I had her him on a boat in little skivvies. Awful. Well, anyway. Whoa, wait a minute. This is something else, folks. Turning up the temperature. Okay, is this really Red October going on before our eyes? Okay. I didn't do the video because it's in Russian. But get a load of this. Kirill Dmitriev says he has already informed the U.S. leadership about the tests of the Bereznik missile, which Putin announced. Also, according to him, he conveyed information to the general staff of the Russian army about the encirclement of Ukrainian troops in Pokrovsk and Kupiansk. Ukraine does not confirm this information. According to him, there are attempts to block the flow of information to the U.S. leadership in Washington regarding the situation in Ukraine and Russia. Based on Dmitriev's statement, he is currently continuing negotiations in the U.S. His visit has already lasted 3 days. He's with Steve Witkoff. But what did he talk about? The tests of Burevestnik. Burevestnik. What's that? Well, let me tell you. Putin announced it yesterday. Burevestnik, the tests of which Putin announced today. This is a missile with a new type of power plant that allows it to fly much farther and longer than previously possible with turbojet and turbofan engines. The 9M730 Burevestnik is a low-flying ground-based cruise missile capable of not only carrying a nuclear warhead, but also equipped with a nuclear power plant. In NATO, it is designated as SSC X9 Skyfall. The power plant also allows the missile to remain in the air for a long time before striking the target. The nonprofit security organization Nuclear Threat Initiative USA stated that Burevestnik could potentially stay airborne for several days. With nuclear propulsion, you don't got to worry about running out of rocket fuel, jet fuel, nothing, if you have nuclear propulsion. And then you see the Germans knocking down their reactors. The organization's 2019 report stated, during the Burevestnik operation, it will carry a nuclear warhead or warheads in the plural, fly around the globe at low altitude, bypass missile defense systems and terrain, then drop the warheads in unpredictable locations. Very concerning. Very concerning. We'll have to see what Donald J. Trump has to say about that. But what has he said? We can shoot a needle out of the sky. He said that multiple times. But is that a type of needle we're able to blow out of the sky? Let me see. Here's something Mr. T put up. Dow rises 500 points to record as Friday's rally on mild inflation data accelerates. 3 major U.S. indexes ended Thursday higher, driven by inflows into tech stocks and bullish statements leading into the heat of earnings sessions. Adding, so their crap about Trump destroying the economy is also in the turlet, Edith, the turlet. Deadly serious. Now, this is just the news. Sebastian Gorka. Can you read between the lines on this? Deadly serious. Trump counterterrorism program kills 370 jihadists in 9 months. Official reveals. Okay. Now, we hadn't heard that reported. Sebastian Gorka also issued a stark warning that the administration plans to dismantle terror cells that snuck onto U.S. soil under the Biden-era border policies, as well as supporters funding groups that spread terrorism, I guess. Where were those 370 people, jihadists, wiped out in 9 months? How much you want to bet Some were on U.S. soil. Covert operations, in other words, folks. They're not going to sit here with what Trump's doing. They're not going to sit around twiddling their thumbs. And we're not going to sit around and watch them twiddle their thumbs. So there's been stuff going on, is what Sebastian Gorger, right here on U.S. soil. Trump put up scoop. Trump's Memphis crime crackdown locates dozens of missing kids, removes 109 gangbangers from the streets. Trump's administration's Memphis, Tennessee crime operation has resulted in 1,309 arrests since August, including gang members and recovery of dozens of missing children. You know, is this the one Soviet put up about, this is about, they're worried about the destruction of the East Wing, and just like that video I played the other day about the guy saying, look, you all, Scott Bessent, you all been destroying statues, and you're tearing down our history, rewriting history, you're worried about the East Wing. Charlottesville's Stonewall Jackson statue dismembered, transformed into monstrous mutant to combat white supremacy. It's thrilling, the LA Times writes. Thrilling. Well, I know you go some areas, might get your nose twisted. Donald J. Trump put out another warning today. Pregnant women, don't use Tylenol unless absolutely necessary. Don't give Tylenol to your young child for virtually any reason. Yeah, you can use aspirin, children's size aspirin. There's a lot of things you can use besides Tylenol. Break up the MMR shot into 3 totally separate shots, not mixed. Take chickenpox shot separately. Take hepatitis B shot at 12 years old or older. And importantly, take vaccine in 5 separate medical visits. Well, I already got my childhood shots already, but I think I'm okay from all of it. But we appreciate the reminder to pregnant women. Oh boy. What's worse? The NBA players cheating at cards and probably much else, or the Democrats cheating on elections? I get to talk about it, you tizzle, because I'm repeating the President of the United States. The 2020 presidential election being rigged and stolen is far bigger scandal. Look at what happened to our country when a crooked moron became our president. We now know everything. I hope the DOJ pursues this with as much gusto as befitting the biggest scandal in American history. If not, it will happen again, including the upcoming midterms. I'm wondering how much they're watching Virginia and New Jersey. No mail-in or early voting. Yes to voter ID. Watch how totally dishonest the California prop vote is. Millions of ballots being, quote, shipped. Get smart, Republicans, before it's too late. Well, here's a video they put out about those card. How many times do you watch these TV poker, or the tournaments? You watch them on TV. How many people you see wear sunglasses like this? This is the kind of sunglasses they were using to cheat. Pretty sophisticated, huh? Is that how you say it? Sophisticated? But anyway, I wasn't going to play Stephen Miller, but I put him on my thumbnail. I wanted to put this up earlier. He's coming. You know how many times I had to freeze that video to get that picture of him with his thumb over his shoulder and point at Trump? He's coming. And Cash Patel, oh, he's what he's saying is ridiculous. The part where he's saying he thinks it's a shame that Trump is coming is ridiculous. But not a whole lot more than that. I went ahead and got it. Here we go. He acts like Trump is a meanie because of the Dirty Bunny or whatever the guy's name is, and the women's basketball. Trump is being so unfair. It's very concerning. But everything else he's saying about Trump being wise to this stuff. Because remember, he was working with the FBI with Epstein years and years ago. And Epstein and Maxwell would still be walking free to this day if it wasn't for Trump winning the last election he won before this one. So anyway.
How many times, for one incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming? He's coming. I'm going to say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there, looking to engage in mass deportations. The Super Bowl, disrupting things. Big night for the NBA. Wembanyama put on a show. That has now been smeared because we're talking about this story, okay? Remember, Trump has a long, long history connected to the world of sports because he had those casinos. Where do you think folks were coming half the time? I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the culture. When people want to go to a casino, when people want to gamble, when people want to party, or whatever the case may be. This was his kind of connection to that. Why am I glad you're here, Monica? Because don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list. Mm-hmm. Because when you've got all of these protests that have been going out there and people that have been protesting against him and what have you, this man is coming. He's coming. And I've been saying it for a long time. And to me, this is the latest nugget of evidence that we're talking about right here. That's not to question the legitimacy of the case. We don't know. We're all sitting up here and we're saying that we don't know. But anybody that has been around him, anybody that has talked to him, anybody that has seen his reactions from the sports leagues and the positions that people have taken, they are not surprised at what's going on today. I'm watching a press conference with the director of the FBI. Tell me when we've seen that. We've seen people, we've seen accusations before. We've seen athletes get in trouble with the law before. You don't see the director of the FBI having a press conference. It's not coincidental. It's not an accident. It's a statement. And it's a warning that more is coming. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're saying here. And everybody better, I'm just telling you, it's as serious as it gets. This ain't the platform for me to get into it the way I'm going to get into it. But I've been saying he's coming. He's coming because in his eyes, folks try to throw him in jail. In his eyes, he's innocent. They try to put me behind bars. I'm getting everybody. He's not playing. And so this, in a lot of people's eyes, talk to people in the NBA, talk to people in the NFL, talk to people in the world of sports. They think this is like the tip of the iceberg. These are the kind of words that are coming out of people's mouths. It's not a surprise. It's very disheartening. It's very concerning. We don't know where this is going to go. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Everybody's better brace themselves because he's...
Why is it disheartening? Why? He's catching crooks. Well, the people he has delegated are catching crooks. Why is that disheartening, Stephen? Yeah, referees too, Todd. That's right. I was talking to my plumber Intel the other day. You are a referee and you get to sign big games. You better believe that you're going to get a knock on your door or a phone call or a tap on the shoulder in the grocery store. And yeah, you're going to get sucked in with organized crime, whether you like it or not. Or you can just take a chance in life, right? Any way they can think to get something like that done, they're going to do it. Let me see what this one is. I'm not sure. What is this video?
Jesse always calls.
Oh, let's play Megan. Megan Kelly talking to somebody. Let's see what it is.
Calls the left communists. They're communists. Explain that.
Well, they are communists, and we've been too hesitant to do that for so long. We try to act as if they're naive, or they just don't get it. We try to make every excuse in the world for them. Well, I guess they just don't understand. No, they do understand. We're the ones who have lacked understanding. They understand full well that they are at war from within with this country. They are fighting a communist revolution. It's not an accident they're doing it. It's not an accident they're going after kids. They decided long ago they couldn't use the workers because American workers were by and large happy and prosperous, so they had to find a different group of malcontents. And now it's every feminist in a Subaru, and it's all this LGBTQ stuff, and they go find all the miserable freaks in society, and they recruit them as an internal army to constantly attack us from within. And they are communists. And I fully admit there are so many Democrats today who don't have any idea that's actually what they are, because they're a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. But in the end, I mean, you go listen to any one of their speeches, you notice they're never, ever, ever actually selling a solution. They don't even really pretend. They're always selling revenge. Always. Elect me and I'll get them. Elect me and I'll get that guy. Elect me and I'll take what's his. Because they're filthy communists, but they're losing. So
yeah, they're losing, so screw them. But if it wasn't for this movement, they wouldn't be losing, okay? And they'd be screwing you. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance. Commies, he was talking about commies. Speaking of commies, this commie here, that's what he says he is. I'm not calling names. I'm repeating what he said. He got a cease and desist letter from the New York Knicks. New York basketball. The Knicks want to make it clear that we do not endorse Mr. Mamdani for mayor. We will pursue all legal remedies to enforce our rights. Nick sends Iran a cease and desist letter over logo. Typical. They see something they think is nice, they just steal it. Typical commie. And so he's getting up there now that he's getting slapped around so much. People are showing up at his rallies calling him a commie, telling him to get the hell out of here and go on somewhere, you commie. Now he's resorting to being a victim, right? It's not because he is a Marxist and he wants to take over grocery stores and give away handouts to, why don't they do a investigation into vote buying? I mean, if you sit there and say, vote for me and I'll give you free tuition. Or Kamala Harris, when, what was his name? Chunk Yu from the Young Turks, middle-aged Turks, said, oh, Kamala Harris took on the housing crisis head on by offering to give $25,000 to first home buyers. What the hell is that? How is that solving a problem? What about everybody who's already bought a damn home and had to make their own bones? At what point do you say, no, you can't bribe people to vote for you and use public funds to do it? How about we start having people worry about getting indicted for bribing people to vote for them? No, it's just politics. Politics in a pig's eye. But anyway, now he's a victim. They picked on his aunt after 9/11, or she thought they would pick on her.
I want to use this moment to speak to the Muslims of New York City. I want to speak to the memory of my aunt. Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
His crocodile tears. She stopped taking the subway because people were giving her dirty looks. Well, the attorney Andrew Branca, let me see if I can find. A lot of people had responses to that. Bam. Greg Price. Zoran, through tears, my aunt stopped taking the subway after 9/11 because she did not feel safe in her hijab. And he's got all these hijabbed women. Yes, she was the real victim of 9/11. And so very Israeli put up, my aunt had a similar story. She stopped taking the subway after 9/11 because two Muslims flew a plane into her office and killed her. That's, as the attorney Andrew Branca says, bam. We don't need your crocodile tears. Put that on your meta. I don't even know what this is. Let me see. There he is. In an exclusive, MSNBC. In an exclusive one-on-one interview with I can't even say it. New York City Democratic Mamdani responded to J.D. Vance saying, according to Zoran, the real victim of 9/11 was his auntie who got some allegedly bad looks. That's basically what he's saying. This is the Republican Party. This is all the Republican Party has to offer, Mamdani said. Cheap jokes about Islamophobia so as not to have to recognize what people are living through, attempts to pit people's humanity against each other. Oh, really? Like taxing Whitey more? Coming out and saying it? We need to tax white neighborhoods more? That's not pitting humanity against each other? It's disgusting. What's this one? Wall Street Apes. Virginia Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin announces, I refuse to let hungry Virginians be used as leverage by congressional Democrats. Now, why can't other governors do what he's doing? Because they want people to raise hell. They want stores to get robbed. They want people to feel like victims. He announced WIC and SNAP food stamp EBT payments will be issued by the state. He said, I'm declaring a state of emergency due to the Democrat shutdown to protect hungry Virginians in need. What he's going to do, he's going to take those funds from the Emergency Fund of Virginia. So 850,000 Virginians who are on SNAP can breathe easy today because Glenn Youngkin is taking care of you. So Virginia took care of it. You got emergency funds, every governor. Oh, what has Midas Trash Pail Network got to say? From a Canadian citizen, I love my Canadian viewers. They got their heads on right. And I appreciate you all tuning in. I got to make fun of these Canadians who put up stuff like this. I'm a Canadian citizen here in Canada. He had no right to do what he has done. Yes, I support the block against Trump. He's the one who should have been blocked from ever becoming president back then and now. Thank you, Lisa from Canada. That's a brilliant comment. We have very strong peace in the Middle East, and I believe it has a good chance of being everlasting. Hamas is going to have to start returning the bodies of the deceased hostages, including 2 Americans, quickly, or the other countries involved in this great peace will take action. Some of the bodies are hard to reach, but others they can return now, and for some reason they are not. Perhaps it has to do with their disarming. But when I said both sides would be treated fairly, that only applies if they comply with their obligations. Let's see what they do over the next 48 hours. I'm watching this very closely. Some people are taking this as a deadline. We shall see. But the other people involved are going to be the ones taking the action. And Trump stopped in Qatar on his way to Malaysia to sign another peace deal. Rapid response, 47. POTUS welcomes the Emir and Prime Minister of Qatar aboard Air Force One while refueling at Al Udeid Air Base. The Emir is one of the great rulers of the world, and Prime Minister has been my friend. What we've done is incredible. Peace in the Middle East. So here, this young feller comes to see President Trump. And he said, when I heard President Trump was in town, I said, don't let him get away till I get to come see him.
Well, I want to welcome you, Mr. President, and as soon as I found out that he's coming to refuel, I said, I'm not going to allow him to take off unless I come and say hello to him. So thank you very much, Mr. President, and it's always good seeing you.
Well, the Emir is one of the great rulers of the world, not just the Middle East. He's been loved and respected by his country. I don't know what's more important, being beloved or respected?
Both.
You have a preference? Because you have both. You're one of the few. And the Prime Minister has been my friend and a friend to the world. And we've done a lot together in the last, especially in the last year. What we've done is incredible. Peace to the Middle East. And they were a very big factor in it. So I just want to thank you. I was thinking, we're landing here, we're going to fuel up, and it's such an honor to have you on the plane. And I know you don't do this often.
Never, first time.
I don't think he's ever done this, actually. But it's an honor. We have a great, he's a great ally, they are a great ally, and these are 2 great men. And as long as we're together and you have those cameras rolling, I want to just say we express our thanks. And you have a safe Middle East right now. And you're going to keep it that way for a long time.
Well, so.
For a very long time. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, so he's being shown respect because he goes over and he travels around the world and he's met with respect. Here they are, the 13th Asian United States Summit, 26th of October 2025. There they all are with Donald Trump where? In the middle, in the center, the centerpiece. The centerpiece of peace. I'll put it that way. So here's Trump. Well, I want to show you what the before I show you Trump in Malaysia. Look what these idiots at ABC put up. No, MSNBC again. They pick this picture of Trump. All the pictures you have of Trump, where he's smiling, where he's laughing, where he's serious, where this and that. They get a fraction of a still shot to put this picture up, and they say, as Donald Trump takes off for a trip through Asia, not to Asia, through Asia, some of his voters are speaking for us now. some of his voters are starting to ask when exactly America will come first on his priority list. Stephanie Rule discusses on the 11th hour nightcap. They're dreaming crap up. They're getting people to be interviewed that are players. I saw the term NPCs earlier. Patricia, I appreciate the fact you want to share my videos. Thank you so much for your kind words. I try to keep a loose eye on the chats. And so what do you think? Why would you think Trump is not taking care of America? These are peace deals and trade deals. Stability around the world means a lot. But everywhere he goes, he's met with respect. And this video is going all over the place. I saw it on Sky News Australia. Everybody's playing. It was on Ruski television. Trump dancing with his welcoming group in Malaysia when he landed. He knows how to blend right in and get right down with it, doesn't he? Here's something for you, Matt, right here. Mom, why can't the left meme? Because the left is the meme, dear. By the way, folks, if you appreciate my efforts, I've got a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description for anybody wants to buy and help the channel out. We're in halfway through the 3rd week of the month. And I do appreciate any support that you deign to give at Buy Me a Coffee. I see many of you are part of the coffee crowd. And that's another thing that made me mad about that guy the other night. Picking on my Buy Me a Coffee people. I don't want him picking on anybody, but really, you're really pushing it when you're picking on the Buy Me a Coffee crowd. But anyway, you might have to copy the link in the YouTube and then click on a copy of the link. I don't know if they lifted their embargo on me or not. But in Rumble, I have a link that you can click on. Also, give me a thumbs up on Rumble too and a follow. I would appreciate that. So, all help the videos get around. But anyway, my gosh, I got so many clips. I still got time. I thought it was later in the broadcast. Let me see. Let's see what else we can play. Let me see what this one is. Jack Posobiec. Breaking. Dr. Peter McCulloch received 40 annual flu shots but never felt well afterward, only to find out they increase your risk of flu and respiratory illness. New Cleveland Clinic data shows the flu shot does more HARM than good. They got an ad for, I can't, because I can't give out medical nothing. So, but anyway, I have a clip of that. Where is that? And, the people that disagree with us, if nothing else for your own sense of well-being, we just want to know the truth. Let me find it, see if I've got him here. Dr. Terry McCulloch. Here he is. Right here. In his own words, this is a doctor, and I am not a doctor. So I'll let a doctor talk.
It's true. As a doctor, most doctors and nurses face this. We take annual flu shots because it's a requirement to be on hospital staff. So I personally took 40 flu shots over the years. And now we've learned from this paper by Shretha and colleagues from Cleveland Clinic that it backfires, that in fact, it makes you more likely to get the flu or a viral upper respiratory illness. And there was a randomized trial done in children that showed that. And I was wondering why I was sick all the time during that period of time of taking these.
Yeah, so he's a doctor. What? I'm not going to argue with him. Are we supposed to trust the science? While I'm not a doctor, I do, however, put up memes. Right? And memes are, have fun with memes, right? Where's that one meme I had? That you all might want to put on your meta. Well, I will come across it. I will come across it in a bit. It's a good one. Might have to be the next broadcast. I don't know. Oh, gosh. What am I doing with Rosie O'Donnell? But anyway, there you go. Put that on your meta page. On my way to get tested. Oh, gosh. My gosh, I got so much stuff in the studio that I remember. Anyway, let's see. Things are going by at lightning speed. They really are. Here's another puke from Midas Trash Network. I'd like to know why members of the U.S. military are taking illegal orders to strike Venezuelan boats. Illegal orders. That's the kind of crap the media is putting out. Look at the comments they put up. This stuff, the mind virus. The media spreads this mind virus that this is illegal. Me too. This worries me more than anything. First thing that crossed my mind. Trials are coming. They will be held accountable for accepting illegal orders in an international tribunal. That's the kind of people we're up against. I'll show you what the liberal idea of a meme is. They think it's something good. This is what they want right here. Midas Trash Network. Hope 2028. President-elect 2028 by Oracle of Delphi. Caution. Venomous bots are in the chats. AOC sitting in the Oval Office. January 2029. A simpleton, socialist, Marxist child who they think would be the best president. That's what we're up against. A bunch of nitwits. Speaking of nitwits, asked if she would run again. Possibly. I'm not done. I have lived my entire career a life of service, and it's in my bones. Kamala Harris, in her bones. Hi, Justin. I don't know why you're not getting alerts. Games they play, on YouTube. I was going to play this at the beginning of my stream. I was going to play this at the beginning, in my montage of videos.
He's knocking it down! Tear out the East Wing and build the ballroom of your dreams with the White House renovation playset. Swing the wrecking ball, stack the new walls, and let the president thumbs up your work while the crying liberal watches. He's knocking it down! Tear out the East Wing and build the ballroom of your dreams with the White House renovation playset. Swing the wrecking ball, stack the new walls, and let the president thumbs up your work while the crying liberal watches.
Ha ha ha! The Trump team put out a montage about it. Goes real quick and doesn't sound. I'll play it one night when I got time to read it. Stop it and read it about how many times that place has been renovated. Look what some idiot liberal put up. Tara Setmayer. It feels almost the same as when I saw the Pentagon damage on 9/11. She's tearing down Obama's bowling alley and God knows what else he did in there to put up a ballroom for international guests. She's comparing it to the Pentagon. That's how demented these people are. Or are they just doing their marching orders, getting paid to put up nonsense like that? Here we go. Let's see what this one is. Oh, this I already read. I got another copy of that. I thought I had only one copy, but that's okay. What's this video? It's blurry. Let me play it. I did some Scavino put up. I don't know.
Young me who was going to conquer Manhattan. He takes chances that would make a less daring man shudder.
To think about the arc of where he's been in, it's like some sort of mythical story or something.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me.
Donald Trump seems to always get stronger when challenged.
My God, that guy's got resilience.
Those who deal with you underestimate you, but to regret it.
It's always good to be underestimated.
It is not about politics. It's about our love for this great country, America, and we're not going to let it fail. I will fight like no one has ever fought before.
Trump is the bodyguard of Western civilization.
You want to talk about a fighter, a walk through fire? He's an absolute savage.
He knows that this is much bigger than him. This is about the American people. They have no idea what they have unleashed. He was ready to go face the cameras and come out swinging.
What will future Americans say we did in our brief time here on Earth? It will be defined by your vision, your perseverance, and your grit. Nothing will sway us, nothing will slow us, and no one will ever stop us. We are Americans. Ambition is our heritage. Greatness is our birthright.
And the future belongs to us.
Yeah, that's what I'd rather have our kids seeing in high school for the next 100 years. And which is what I believe we will be teaching our kids how close this country came to being destroyed by communism. Let me see what's going on in the chats. Oh, yeah, I agree. Hi, Wicked Trillium. I agree, Jerry. Oh, okay. Don't go beyond what you can afford, Patricia. I'd rather you take care of yourself, sweetheart. I appreciate it so much. I got a pretty dedicated coffee crowd. It's just funny that you have like 10,000 views during I don't know how many views during a whole week. You know, and it's my same loyal bunch. It's pretty wild when you look at the numbers. But anyway, here's Pam Bondi. Oh, no, wait, let me show you this. What do y'all make of this? Brett Baer. Mr. Arizona. Remember he called Arizona for Biden? But he's also been to play golf with President Trump. One time that I'm aware of. But anyway, here's the news on Brett Baer. From the Daily Caller. Breaking CBS News editor-in-chief Barry Weiss is reportedly plotting to poach special report host Brett Baer from Fox News and install him as anchor of the CBS Evening News, according to multiple media outlets. Barry Weiss plotting to poach Brett Baier from Fox News. What do you all think of that, folks? CBS had to pay trial settlement. Is this, part of the Truth and Reconciliation Act? Because I don't know. I don't think it's going to do in the end, it's not going to do the liberals any favors. That's the way I look at it. Let me see what this is. Here's Zoran again. Zoran, the dream of every Muslim is to be treated the same as any other New Yorker. And yet, for too long, we are told to ask for less than that and endure hatred and bigotry in the shadows. No more. Well, Lisa Cusack said, my father grew up Christian in a Muslim country. Both sides of his family had property confiscated. They paid a special tax for being non-Muslim. Many jobs were not available to them, certainly in the government, and they lived under frequent threats of government-sanctioned mob violence. None of this is done to Muslims in America, and everybody knows it. But some groups love that victimhood, don't they? Let's see, who's this now? Leela Rose. Supreme Court is going to consider whether to hear a challenge to same-sex marriage on November 7th. November 7th, marriage is between one man and a woman. An attempt to redefine marriage only damages our social fabric. The Supreme Court will acknowledge this soon and overrule its past mistakes. Amen to that. What a ridiculous notion. Never in the history of mankind has that been recognized. Now, this is going to make you sick, folks. Jack Pacific with us up. There's going to be tons of leftists who dress up like Charlie Kirk for Halloween. Document every one of them. Here's this jerk. I won't even say his name. You can read it. He's got his outfit ready to go. He's wearing a freedom shirt and wearing a bandage on his neck. Doc Pasobi said, we got any teachers doing that? Anybody in any position of public responsibility doing that? Document it so they get fired. Look at this old creep right here. Pick on this girl. He's probably retired. So he's all liberal and cocky and tossing out his slanderous words. If he was worth two dimes rubbed together, I'd like to see Erica Kirk sue his eyeballs out of his head for what he's saying.
So this guy is so hateful and angry, he can't even tell me any of the racist things that Charlie is saying. So,
I've already told you.
Okay, well then walk away from me. All you have to do is walk away.
Charlie Kirk was a racist, bigot, scum.
Regarding the racism, I myself am a Hispanic Asian woman.
Okay.
He hired me on to, represent his organization.
God bless. Everybody needs a token.
Okay, so I'm a token.
So she says she's an Asian woman with TP USA. Oh, he calls her a token. But then right after, he calls Charlie Kirk a bigot and a racist. I got called a bigot the other night in my comments. Oh, yeah, here's Maria Bartiromo interviewing. Oh, snap. Gavin Newsom's California gave 62,000 CDL permits to illegal aliens to drive commercial vehicles. Oh, okay. Well, let's see. you might lose your privilege to issue driver's licenses, and you're doing international commerce, most of it on federal highways, international highway system. You can lose your right to issue commercial driver licenses. Wait a minute, let me cut my mic off. What's going on? My screen froze. Hold on. There we go.
I'm about to pull $160 million from California. And as we pull more money, we also have the option of pulling California's ability to issue commercial driver's licenses. Gavin Newsom cares more about illegals getting commercial driver's licenses than he does the citizens of his own state and the safety of Americans. It's shameful. He's been lying about what he's been doing. And again, we're going to fight tooth and nail under President Trump's administration to make sure that we hold states like California accountable.
Are they trying?
Yeah, take away their right to put licenses out. Suspend all licenses. Make them take a new test. You know, maybe we need to... This thing about Pritzker's brother. Virginia Griffrey, who passed away, as you all know, and she told us that she was not long for this earth. Remember, folks? Turns out she brought up Pritzker's brother. We're going to keep an eye on that. Pritzker's brother abused her when she was underage, right? We're starting to see a lot of stuff come together. A lot of stuff coming together. Man, I got so much stuff to play. Let me see. What's this one? Brutalized. New lawsuit. $240 million J6 lawsuit. Ready for this?
$240 million. That's what we're seeking from the Capitol police officers that brutalized and murdered us January 6ers at the United States Capitol right here in Washington, D.C. Today, the court filing is official. Federal watchdog has put forth one of the most robust legal filings. And guess what? Lieutenant Michael Byrd, you murderer, you're named on the Supreme Court filing. And you too, Lila Morris, you are also named. We will get justice for the January 6ers, and it will happen. Very bless America.
He said some name that Utizel didn't like, but she's named in a federal lawsuit. You all would have to replay it to catch it. And this is the blurb that went with it from Jackie Lang, a J6 prisoner. U.S. Supreme Court has accepted our writ of certiorari for the $240 million plus January police brutality lawsuit. We've been assigned a case number 25-483, and it's listed on the official SCOTUS website. Thank you, Oath Keeper Attorney Ed Tarkey. So we're going to see that rock and roll. What's this here? Let me see. I'm not sure what this report is on. Let me see. Trump administration announced new measures in drug fight. Let me see. Some of these I got yesterday.
The Pentagon right now, it turns out, is deploying a U.S. aircraft carrier nearby. Take a look at the video that we just showed you a moment. The Secretary of War has directed the Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group and the embarked carrier Air Wing to the U.S. Southcom area of responsibility. Its primary task is to detect, monitor and disrupt illicit activity that threatens the homeland. That announcement comes just a few hours after the Pentagon carried out its 10th strike on an alleged drug boat, accusing Tren de Aragua of operating the vessel and leaving 6 people dead in the Caribbean. These boat strikes so far have killed over 40 people, and that will include more numbers if and when the operation does eventually move ashore.
The operation moves ashore. So they are talking about a ground operation in Venezuela. Maduro came out and said, "Oh, we don't need any crazy wars." Yeah, we don't need any crazy drugs over here or your operatives either. Oh, here there. This is a video put out by CNN. They don't show that they were throwing rocks at these officers. And that one chief, they'll mention his name, he pulls a tear gas canister and tosses at him like, like he's just, it's just another day, It's what he's supposed to do when they're throwing rocks at you. They make it seem like he's being just arbitrary, torturing the rioters, or, I'm sorry, protesters.
A judge's restraining order in Chicago. Right here in this video, you can see Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bovino appearing to throw a tear gas canister toward anti-ICE protesters on Thursday. So right here, we're freezing the video so you can see it more clearly. As the protesters run away, the camera shows a cloud of smoke in that area. The Department of Homeland Security says protesters threw rocks, prompting Bovino to throw that canister of tear gas. And in a statement, they say, quote, "The use of chemical munitions was conducted in full accordance with CBP policy and was necessary to ensure the safety of both law enforcement and the public." Wolf.
All right, look at this. We're looking at live pictures right now.
Then they go straight to the demo work going on in the East Wing. Straight from that chemical warfare against poor protesters. I'm talking about the subliminal message. The subliminal message. Let me see what this one is. I don't even remember. What is this one? Oh, yeah, this guy, he's talking about the Democrat Party. He's talking about whoa, wait a minute. He's talking about the Democrat Party. Let me say, "Hi, Larry. Will they make a settlement so no discovery?" Well, they have to. The Supreme Court's got to rule on whether or not they can go forward with a lawsuit, and then we'll start hearing about stuff like that. Yeah, Roseanne Boyland, that's right. Plenty of witnesses to that. I'm just looking at the chat, folks. I need to get some background music so you all know what I'm up to. Anyway, folks, I might play this one here at the end. Let me see what this one is. Standoff after. Oh, yeah. Here they're ramming ICE vehicles. If they link this rhetoric from these mayors and governors to this violence, we will see arrests. And I want to remind everybody, people are acting like it would be a crazy thing for a governor to be arrested or a mayor. Don't forget Governor Rick Perry in 2017 got arrested because he was going to withhold funds from a prosecutor's office because she came out and said she was not going to support the governor in enforcing the laws. He was going to withhold funds from her office, and they said he was intimidating an elected official, and they arrested Governor Rick Perry under the Obama administration's purview okay, back in 2017. So it's not something new. But anyway, here's this where they're ramming ICE vehicles.
When ICE agents here in Avondale tried to stop a car with a man or two men that they were interested in. Homeland Security says this all started when those two officers tried to stop that car. They say the driver then kept going to their home, which is in this area here in Avondale. Homeland says when they got to that home, the two people in that car rammed into the officer's car. They got out and ran inside, which created this barricade situation. Now, eventually, ICE agents, we were told, arrested who they were looking for.
Yeah. They're being told, well, these are masked strange men, so you have every right. Every right. But anyway, folks, here's the guy's assessment of he's a Democrat. Here's his assessment of the Democrat Party. And I want to play it for you. It's a short video. You won't like it if you're a Democrat. But I hope you all enjoy this video. And I want to thank you all for spending your precious time with me. We should be getting together again tomorrow night. And if everything goes well. So if you're subscribed and hit the notification bell, you should know when I go live. So anyway, folks, enjoy this video, and I hope you all have a great evening. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
We're in terrible shape. Like, we just have to be very honest with ourselves. The Democratic Party is in really, really bad shape. The fact that our approval rating is, depending on the poll you believe, somewhere in the 20s or the teens, while Donald Trump is busy kind of vandalizing the government, that ain't good. And I think there's many reasons for that, which we can discuss, but we have not begun to address those problems. I do think we will not be able to fully address them until we have a leader, and that won't be for like 3 years when we nominate somebody for president, because parties ultimately are defined by their leaders and defined by them almost entirely. I mean, you can think about what Republicans did after 2012. As you know, they did big retrospective, the autopsy. They're like, we need to be prince, and then they nominate Trump and they go the opposite direction. So make the party brand. And for the next few years, we won't have that. So it's going to be a tough couple of years deep in the wilderness for us. And I think there are some things we can do to set the table for the nominee. But right now, I don't feel like we're doing it.